Well, I recall the paper about 15 to 20 years ago. I was asked to write a couple of articles. Then I became a regular in the Suburban for about 3 years with Jim Duff. And then when he left, I left. And now I'm back again on a fairly regular basis. And it's a great paper.
Robert Libman, former politician, architect, man of all seasons. What is your first recollection of reading the Suburban? I guess when you were young growing up in Chamonix.
No, as a matter of fact, I became enmeshed with the suburban culture when I started the Equality Party back in the late 1980s. It became, and it was, a very relevant, influential paper among the electorate that we were trying to go after.
My name is Sandra Reich. I'm the director of the Montreal Centre for Anxiety and Depression and the co-director of Empowered Women Workshops. And thank you, Suburban, for helping us every step of the way. Thank you.
Suburban has always been there for the public, the community, the local community. And I don't think the local community or communities, which the Suburban serves, would be the same without it. So all the best. 50 years, unfortunately, I can say this goes very, very quickly. And I congratulate the Suburban for its ability to maintain the competitive edge that it's had over these many years and to continue to serve the population. Chapeau.
But a lot of people don't know that you are the voice behind the Suburban commercials.
It's not true. It's not true. Don't believe a thing they say. The Suburban comes right to your door.
I'm Mitchell Brownstein, and I'm a city councilor in Côte St. Luc. I've lived in Côte St. Luc since 1964, so the Suburban's been a real part of my life, and being a municipal councilor since 1990, that's the paper we all read. That's the paper that means the most to the residents of Côte St. Luc in order to know what's happening locally.
Mark has been with the paper through the years. What are your memories of the many sports stories that have been covered in the newspaper?
Well, even before I was with the paper, growing up in NDG, it was reading the minor sports. And then I got the opportunity to come on board and do my weekly column when Anthony Wilson-Smith, who went on to be the editor of Maclean's, went to the competitor, the Monitor. But, you know, there's so many great stories over the years from Larry Fredericks, who's been a mentor to many of the guys that wrote at the paper. But just covering, say, players from the small pitches, from the small rinks that have gone on to play in NHL buildings or on the professional football field. It's just, you never know. When you do a story and put it out there, it's so great to see the kids' names in the paper, because growing up, that's what I like to see.
My name is Nancy Forlini with Remax, and my husband Nick Tiaske. We're a business partner in real estate, and we've been advertising in the Suburban for about
6 years?
No, more than that. About 8 years, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Hide with Elizabeth Heidi with.
The Honorable Irwin Kotler. Irwin, you go way back with the Suburban. What are your memories and thoughts of the Suburban going back 50 years?
Well, it always was a community connection. When you read the paper, you felt that you were relating to the community of which you were a part. And then it began to become a real community voice and a community advocate. And I think we heard tonight the impact that community advocacy has had. So I just wish the Suburban all the best. Another 50 years of community involvement, community advocacy, and community achievement.
When people ask me, what makes the Suburban special? What is this thing called advocacy journalism? I just tell them one thing, 2 phrases. Words do matter, says another esteemed journal in Montreal. People matter more.